Welcome back to The Truth with Trinity, and I am your host, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'd like to send you a warm welcome. Here I talk about issues that happen within the black community, hopefully for some resolution or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. So, without further ado, I'd like to jump into this episode's topic, which is how black men are spending unnecessary money on the wrong women and blaming good women for it. So, before I get started, I want to send a special thank you out to everyone who is tuning in. You could have been anywhere else, but you're taking your precious moments to listen in on the podcast. I want to say thank you once again, and also to the subscribers that have been hanging in there with me for a minute, and my new subscribers. And if you're not subscribed yet and you want to hear more content when it becomes available, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And also, if this message resonates with you, don't forget to hit the like button. So, I want to continue on. Okay, so many brothers claim or have voiced that they have come across sisters only looking for a generous man or for their bill to be paid or a handout. But little do my beloved brothers know that they can reduce their cost by keeping their money in their pocket and not spending your hard earned cash on the wrong woman. So, if there's any brothers listening, have you ever had a woman come to you, asking for money, or have you ever complained yourself, like, hey, it's too many black women sisters, they're asking for money, okay? Um, but there's some things and I think there's some things that young black men and black men period, and not just black men but other men too. But I say black men because you mainly hear about black men, complaining that black women are just looking for money. But I wanted to go over a few steps and a couple of scenarios that I think a lot of black men are going wrong and they don't even know it. Okay, so the first step is to be completely honest. Okay, many black men look for encounters that incite prostitution without wanting to pay. Now, listen, hear me out. Okay, so what I mean by that is it's kind of like an analogy. It's kind of like the woman that goes outside with hardly any clothes on, fishnet shorts with bikini on, and she's expecting for guys not to come at her sexual, right? Like, there's no way, right? Or she's like in the room with a guy with barely any clothes on that he's not going to try to get fresh, right? So this kind of is like the same metaphor for guys, okay? So for example, a brother meets a woman from a phone or date line or even in person, okay? He may start a fresh conversation. So this is a conversation for the very first time, okay? So despite where you meet the woman at, from over the phone with a woman, okay? So this is a woman that you've never talked to before, okay? Within the first few minutes of conversation, this particular brother may already be asking intrusive questions such as a woman's address, what that woman likes to do for fun. And that could be anything, right? Like, do you like to golf? Do you like to ski? Do you like to read? But I'm talking about when a woman tries to answer those questions with those type of answers, it's referred back to sex, sexual innuendos. Okay? Asking the woman to go into details about what she looks like or requesting sexually indicative pictures, okay? So revealing pictures. So she tries to send a picture, a normal picture, or asking for pictures too quickly. And definitely asking, like, what she looks like, what size her bra is, just questions that, may not need to come up, definitely don't need to come up on the first day. So now at this point, some women may try and change the subject, but not every woman, okay? This is where many men have set themselves up in situations where prostitution may occur. And you may ask, how did I set myself up for prostitution or any type of situation like that, right? Let me go over number one with you. First, as a man, you have already sent a message to the female that you didn't care about her name, her family, her life, or talking or taking the time to truly get to know her. Okay, so you're not asking her any questions. basic baseline questions. You're getting straight to the point, right? So you're asking where she lives at, what she likes to do in bed, things of that nature. Okay. So number two, quickly bringing up sex and asking for illicit descriptions or pictures. Okay. Number three, asking for her location. So where's she at? Are you at home? Are you at home alone? Okay, so these are sending different messages to certain women, okay? And women, period. Now, as a female, they have three options. So when a woman hears a guy talking like this, okay, they have only three options. Not only, but these are the three options that really pop into most women's heads. They'll either discontinue the conversation. So this is what most ladies will do. If they're not interested in, a midnight rendezvous or a quick hookup, they're going to discontinue the conversation. Or they may engage you in your offer. So they're just looking for a good, this particular woman may just be looking for a good time herself, or ask for money because she knows your intentions is strictly sexual, okay? So, like I said, one woman may just may walk away, may discontinue that conversation. Some women may say, "Hey, I'm in need too, so I'm gonna hook up with you." And some women may say, "Hey, this guy only wants me for one thing. I can tell by the way he's talking to me. I'm gonna see what I can get out of it." Okay, so um, the mentality of some women, okay, the women that are not gonna just walk away, okay, the mentality of some women is he is trying to use me. Why not use him? Lastly, some men may say, I will not pay or I am not looking for a prostitute. All right. So, a lot of guys, especially black men, our brothers, they'll say, hey, I'm not, I didn't say anything about paying for anything. Okay. I just asked, what you look like without any clothes on. Right. But little do a lot of our brothers know, this is the way you come at a prostitute. This is the way you come at a loose woman. You don't know her name. You don't even know if it's her real name, even if she states her name. You haven't taken the time to get to know who she is. You haven't spent any time, and you're already asking her, you know, to be quick. You're asking her to be quick. You're asking her to do something for you sexually. And I think a lot of guys, of course, have a problem with the payment part. And I don't condone prostitution at all, but I'm just trying to get brothers to see where they're opening themselves up to be questioned or treated like a sugar daddy or something that they don't want to be treated as, okay? So, but let's look at some facts. So, like I said, some guys are saying, "Hey, I don't want to pay. I'm not looking for a prostitute. I'm not no woman's sugar daddy. I'm not no woman's generous guy." But let's look at some facts. When you pretend to act genuinely interested in conversation with some women, they pick up on that. Because some guys are kind of slick with it, right? They'll say, "Hey, I know some women can pick up if I just come out and ask for their address." Because some guys will do that. They'll just ask for your address. They'll ask what color your underwear are, and are you ready to get physical. But some guys are a little more slick with it. They'll try to have a little bit of a conversation with you, just to make it seem like they're interested, and they'll try to skate around and then circle back around to the grand question. Okay, and some women, like I said, they pick up on that. Men who are more likely to seek hours indoor after hour indoor hookups and indoor activities are more prone to being propositioned or seen as a generous man. Okay, so guys that, like I said, it's one thing for you guys to have gotten to know each other for a few months, few weeks or whatever, and you're like, hey, would you like to come back to my place? Would you like to see what my place looks like? I don't know. That's up to the two individuals. But for you to just first meet that person and say, hey, I want to go inside your house. I want you to come inside my house. Okay, so these are the guys that get asked that the most. Okay, about cash, because you're not taking the time to get to walk, a woman around the park or do anything like that. But I just want the end result. So the quick result, okay? Men who are quick to ask for sex without getting to know a woman. So these are the type of guys that a lot of times get treated like, that proposition of getting asked those type of questions, okay? Um, Now I'd like to talk about, taking women out. So this is, a little different. taking women out who are not truly interested in you, or just basically trying to get a I don't know, a free date or a free meal, like a lot of brothers would say, or they're not really genuinely interested, basically. Okay. Um, a lot of times, taking women out who are not truly interested in you, or taking women out based solely off of lust. So this is a woman that you've seen that is very attractive. You're not really concerned about anything else, and this is how men once again spend unnecessary money. So this is the second scenario. Number one, if you take every woman out you deem attractive, you will become broke or have way less money. Okay, because there's so many, beautiful women out there, right? Back in the day, okay, men were more likely to take women out that they seen as a potential wife, okay? Because you see a lot of pretty women, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be wife material, right? This saved men from a lot of unnecessary spending because many women can pick up if a man is only taking her out on a date because she is attractive. Okay? Um, this leaves room open for opportunistic women who may not be attracted to you, but only if you are willing and ready to take her out and spend money on her. Okay? It also builds a superficial and unrealistic expectation that every time that you both communicate that money or events surrounding spending money will take place. Okay, so basically, back in the day, I'm not saying every man was perfect back then, but men were more likely to take a woman out that they had paid attention to for a certain amount of time and said, you know what, she has potential. Potential in what? I don't know, but hopefully as a wife. So this is something serious. So this is the beginning to a potential investment in an important woman, or a woman I think is going to be important. And I'm going to find this out by taking her out on a date to see how she conducts herself. If she does well, I'll take her out again and we'll go from there. But now, guys, what they're doing is they're doing the most to try to get in between a lot of women's legs, unfortunately. And that's leaving a lot of men upset because they're, it's, I understand I'm not a man, so, but, to look solely at a woman's looks and you're trying to, be slick and coy with it, you're looking for a sexual encounter, so you're willing to put off a facade that you're looking for more than just sex, or that you're coming out asking for sex and taking her out on a date and then getting upset when the end result is not favorable, or it only happens like for a one night stand or something. Okay, like I said, old school men, they're not going to just spend their money on any woman. They're not going to just take any woman out just because she's fine. Okay, I mean, not solely off of just because she's fine. I think more so that this is a candidate for something more serious. Okay. um and after spending money on countless women they may never see again. It has left many brothers, okay? So after spending money on countless women, like I said, that you may see after a one night stand, you may never see again, or might not even get a chance to have the sexual encounter, because just because you have a date doesn't mean it's going to end up you getting laid, right? So number one, it has left many brothers reluctant to risk spending money to show a potential mate a good time. Okay, because you hear that a lot, right? Some guys will be like, I've already done that, this, that, and the other. They're burnt out, basically. I don't want to take my chances, and they may actually be in front of a really good woman, okay, who may be willing to go and take them out at one time or another, but they're reluctant. It's kind of like the woman that has been burnt too many times romantically by a man, and after that is in the face of a good man finally, and she doesn't want to share any intimacy with him because of fear of past encounters. And I think that's the same that can go for a lot of brothers. Number two, it can cause resentment towards women looking at all women as money hungry. Okay, so once a guy keeps spending all his money in the wrong places with the wrong women, he could begin to see every woman like that, and even the good ones. Okay, so how can brothers reduce or prevent situations like this from happening? So how can you as a brother prevent something like this from happening to you? Okay, or at least reduce it. Okay, number one, Make sure you are not presenting yourself as a generous man. Don't present yourself as a generous man. And this is how this is how it's done, okay? Asking about sex too soon. So don't do that, okay? Asking for pictures, especially revealing pictures. Don't do that. Asking for locations too soon. So where she's at, where do you live at on the first conversation, okay? Or pretending to or not caring to know information in regards to that particular woman that you're talking to. So pretending that you care, feigning interest, but you're only really trying to, just have a sexual encounter. And like I said, some women that are mature and skilled in the dating game, they can kind of hone in when a guy's basically pretending to listen, pretending to ask, baseline questions only to get to the home run. Okay. Let me continue. So when you are dating, don't let looks alone drive you to ask a woman for a date. Okay. Number two, get to know a woman without sex first, or pay attention to her if you can before asking her out. So, if these are situations where you might see a woman at work, you might see a woman in your neighborhood, if you have some time, pay attention to her a little bit and see if this is someone that her mannerisms equivalent or equivalent to being asked out on a date. Okay. And steer clear of women who will only communicate with you when you talk about spending money. Okay, so steer clear of those type of women. She can't answer the phone. She's too busy to deal with you other than payday. Okay, and most women like to be dated, but making wise investment. Excuse me. Most women like to be dated, but making wise investments in where or who you spend your hard-earned money uh, and time with is essential. Okay. So that pretty much wraps up this segment. It's been a pleasure talking with you all. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can contact me at thetruthwithtrinity.com. You can also listen to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And always remember, if you can't tell the truth with anyone else, you can with Trinity. Till next time, take care.